Hey, it's the I Am Cait after show on AFTERBUZZ TV. Tonight, we're talking about the season 2 finale called Houston, We Have a Problem, so stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hello, hello! It's the I Am Cait after show, season 2, episode 8, the finale. Can you believe we're here?
I cannot believe it.
I know. It went by fast, I think.
It did go pretty fast,
right?
yeah.
We're going to talk about it. Let's do some intros, though. I'm Jeffery Masters. I tweet from Jeff Masters1.
What's up, everyone? I'm Thomas Orlina, and you can find me at Thomas Orlina on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook.
Awesome. And, of course, you can always comment and subscribe on iTunes and YouTube. We love hearing from you there. Let's get to the episode.
Yes.
The bitter finale.
Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas.
You gotta have Beyonce.
Beyonce.
Mm-hmm.
Thomas pointed that out. I forgot. Please forgive me, fans. Okay, so we have a lot to talk about. But first, I feel like the entire season, the entire series is just about the education of
Yes.
Caitlyn Jenner,
Mm-hmm.
a baby trans person, and getting her up to speed, if you will, about how to operate. How successful do you think they were? Scale of 1 to 10.
I honestly think they were a 10.
Oh my God, Thomas, really?
I really do.
Are you pandering?
No, I think that, they really gave it to Caitlyn exactly how they felt. Each one had a different opinion, and I think Caitlyn got a piece of each of their opinions.
Okay, were you worried episode 1, though?
A little bit. Just
Okay.
slightly.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I wasn't worried per se, just because I always saw her trying.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't always agree with what she was saying, but I saw her listening. And as Kate Bornstein pointed out at the end of this episode, you have listened. And I like that they brought up on screen, because we've talked about before, that she is an unwitting icon.
Yes.
She didn't transition because she would be the face of transgender,
She didn't even realize that going into it.
I don't think I think that's a great point. And I don't think she had a choice in the fact.
Yeah.
So as Chandy said, we don't tell you you're doing well enough. And yes, there are some issues that we need to talk about, but you're doing great. And I agree.
I think it's encouraging. I think it's encouraging for Caitlyn to just push and do better, because I feel like she's seen the impact that she has, and she's using her voice now. So I feel like it's good. I'm happy about it.
And we saw Mara Keisling, Keisling from the National Center for Transgender Equality. And she was so blunt in saying, there have been some big issues, but you are changing the world.
Exactly.
Huge, yeah. We're going to talk about all of Caitlyn, but I think we should knock out the Ella storyline.
That was powerful.
Did you thought so? No, I feel like that makes me sound really skeptical. It was powerful. I loved that perspective.
Yes.
It's good to hear from a family member who did have a hard time, because the Kardashians on camera maybe was a smoother transition than typical family of trans people. It was kind of out of left field for me, though.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if I thought it was necessary.
I think it was very necessary.
Do you?
I do.
Why is that?
I think because there's so many people out there that are dealing with these issues, and the foundation of, growing into your transgender life, you need somebody that's going to be supportive, and you're going through this journey on your own. So having her dad on the show, I feel like it's encouraging for people out there to see, with time,
yes,
you can get to where you want to be. And I feel like with Peter being on the show, I thought that was really cool. There needs to be more Peters out there.
Yeah, I agree, and I thought it was great to see. I just thought it felt a little bit forced.
You think so?
Yeah, I think
was thinking that.
because I agree with everything you said, but it felt a little bit icky.
Yeah, I thought when we were watching the episode, I wanted to know, did she prep her dad? We're gonna say something on camera. Did you feel the realness of that conversation?
I felt the realness of the actual conversation, but getting there, I think that it felt like the producers producing this moment, and then the build-ups of Jennifer Finley Boylan going to her saying that she needed to have this conversation.
Yeah.
You know, Ella is, what is she, 18 or 19?
Yeah.
Do we know? She's not even 21. She's drinking chocolate milk. So let's say she's 18.
Yes.
Ella has 18 years to become this amazing girl. And it's not going to take her father 18 years. Clearly, he's getting a lot faster, but it takes him time.
Yeah.
And I think that you can't always change the way your parents think and feel, and you can't always, unfortunately, hold them accountable for their behavior.
Yeah, we did see her, going back and forth, deciding if she wanted to do this or not, but regardless, I think it was a good choice for her to do it on camera, because viewers out there that are dealing with things like this need to have the encouragement to kind of hash it out and get to a better place.
Yeah.
So I felt like that, we came full circle with the dad saying, I love you, and I don't know, that was my thoughts.
And thank God we had the resolution. We got the one we wanted.
We didn't get her singing.
I didn't even realize that. Yeah, Thomas brought up that we had
singing. Where was that?
The trade-off for Ella to sing and Candace Cain and Caitlyn would kiss, and we got the kiss.
We got the kiss. The kiss that all the tabloids, Us Weekly, everybody's putting out.
Should we tweet at her and yell? I want a vine.
Yeah, I want to hear her voice.
I know.
I was very curious.
Yeah, I also have been fascinated reading about how hormones and transitions can change your voice. Usually it's not that drastic, but Our Lady J, who is a writer for Transparent and a musician, her voice is incredible, and I just want to know more about how that affects things. I think it's fascinating. But speaking of the kiss, I don't want to be bashing, because I really actually love this episode. But again, it just felt like, why are we pandering to the Candace Cain Caitlyn storyline? I don't know why we're bringing this up.
They are just running with it. It's just going to be a continuation. Hopefully we'll get another season and we'll see it evolve more, but I don't know. They just are holding on to that.
Because of that, and because Caitlyn is this alpha type, I see. I don't think that any of that is helping her cause for saying that she wants to date men, and whether she wants to date men or not, it doesn't actually matter. But
you think she's confusing people?
I think it's confusing to people who don't get it. The people who want to label people gay, straight, this, that, and I think that they're seeing this chemistry between Caitlyn and a lot of women.
I know. Well, Caitlyn hasn't gone through the full,
right.
surgery yet.
Right.
So I think she's just having fun. I think it was a light moment.
Bring up the surgery, because she said she doesn't want to date at all.
Exactly.
Until she has it, and she's still bottom surgery, and she's still deciding whether or not she wants to have it.
Yeah. So
gender
I feel
confirmation surgery.
Exactly. I feel like she's just having fun. I feel like Candace is just having a good time, but I know what you mean. They really are holding on to the whole kissing and the whole relationship with them too.
Yeah.
They're not going to let it go.
I know. I do see this beautiful friendship. And I will say though that I see a lot of people who have incredibly close and affectionate and physically affectionate relationships when those are pure friendships. And I have a stone cold heart, so that's very foreign to me. But I see that Candace is a very touchy-feely person, so I see that she would accept that.
She's so well-rounded. She literally is one of those friends that you have that, she was so encouraging with Ella to talk to her dad. She just knows how to talk to people, so I'm hoping that she does find, this season we went through all these episodes of her really wanting to have that fairy tale, and she deserves it, in my opinion.
Are you a little bit let down that in the Candace Cain's fairy tale storyline we didn't get a resolution to adopting?
I know that's something that they didn't bring back. That was just for last week, but that's a story to have. That's a story to talk about. There's more to dive into with I Am Cait.
Yeah, I guess they finished it last episode. I just didn't think that it was finished.
Yeah.
I thought we left it open-ended. But who knows? It was at that dinner where they did kiss that they brought up the quote that Caitlyn said, if you look like a man in a dress, it makes people uncomfortable.
That was a mistake.
That's a huge mistake. It just goes against so much that we've been fighting for. And yet, I saw Caitlyn listening, and I think she got it.
She did get it. I am firm that she really recognizes her mistake. She is just coming into this last year.
Yeah.
To have all these months and come this far, it's like when you make mistakes, you learn, you move on.
Yes.
But you take everything that you made a mistake on and you do better. And I feel like that's the type of person that she is. She's a motivational speaker.
She is, and she's still figuring out everything. It's hard to transition, to come out as transgender and immediately, you know, be the role model for all trans everything.
It's a huge job.
Yeah, that's not easy. You know, I think that Laverne Cox is an example of somebody who always speaks incredibly eloquently about being a woman, about being trans, about like representing both of these things, and being a woman, an actress of color on TV, like what that means. She was able to figure this out before she got famous. Before she's in the public eye. And here is Caitlyn Jenner on this reality show, and that's what makes it so special.
Yes.
And I think it's so important that we had this discussion because gender queer people and gender nonconformers are so invisible in pop culture. And the icons that we have, like the Laverne Coxes, and we mentioned Janet Mox, these are people who are so conventionally female. You wouldn't, if they're walking on the street, you wouldn't bat an eye. And that's not every trans person. Not every trans person wants to like be that. Not every trans person can and has the means. You know, like, and I think just like having that conversation, it reminded me of all the issues going on. And not all the issues, but it's been an issue with the Danish Girl and Dallas Buyers Club. That these are beautiful, incredible movies, but it just perpetuates the stigma that it is a man in a dress because these are male actors, you know, playing trans women instead of trans women playing trans women.
I think with that mistake that she made, I think that one stood out the most because that did affect, you know, during the time of the Hero Act and everything that was going on. It just kind of turned everything to the left when we were going straight.
I agree.
And so it was just poor timing. But again, Caitlyn is learning. We're seeing all these mistakes. When are we ever going to see another reality show like this where they're making these types of mistakes on camera? They're vulnerable. I mean, they're doing the best that they can, but we have millions of people out there that are just down you every single time.
It's so, I know it's a reality show and it's edited and it's not real, but it's also so real.
It is.
Like the struggle that Caitlyn is having now, figuring out how to operate as the face of transgender. You know?
I think she's going to elevate. I feel like this is good, and I feel like Laverne Cox too. I mean, them two together would be a good conversation to have, like just to see the dynamic and to see what Laverne thinks about how far Caitlyn's come and other women outside of her circle.
I don't think we could ever find out for a fact though, just because Laverne Cox is so well trained in, as a like speaking publicly. I don't think that she would ever come out and have like something critical to say, because I think she also knows how much positive change Caitlyn is having. I keep calling Caitlyn Jenner the face of transgender. Maybe the face of transgender people sounds a little bit better.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? I just feel like that's not it's sounding as classy as I try so desperately to sound like. Okay, you mentioned the Hero Act.
Yes.
We saw the commercial in the episode today.
When I was watching it, I literally was just like shocked. I mean, they did a really good job at making people believe that that was really what was going on.
A great job in the
ending.
worst way.
Exactly. I was like, wow, like I'm not surprised like the way things turned with seeing that type of commercial with the child, the older man. No.
I'd never seen it before. Had you?
No, that's why I was really surprised.
Oh, God. It just is echoing so many things happening right now in North Carolina. My home state, baby. It's just so fascinating, too, that for so many years we were trying to, the politicians, let's say, dirty politicians, were trying to limit the rights of the LGBTQ community. And now the whole trend with this is trying to preserve the rights of, you know, in this example, Christians and the larger population. And I think it's fascinating in a horrible way that they've picked transgender people in bathrooms as the issue when that hasn't been an issue.
Exactly. I feel like they're just all the work that has been done to get this far, we're seeing everybody just trying to destroy that. And it's very unfortunate that they're using transgender issues as something to, run with. It's awful.
Yeah, and then Caitlyn says that she doesn't want to get involved politically in small things like that. I was really happy that at the end of the episode she realized that
she needed to step in.
She needed to step in. That bathrooms aren't a small issue. It's
Caitlyn,
something that people use.
This one.
Yeah, and for her to say that I'm just focused on the bigger issues, it's like, okay, but if like a trans person in the media like you isn't like supporting trans people, like you can't expect other people to.
Exactly.
It starts with you. And I thought that came across.
Yeah, I did. I feel like it did come across because Caitlyn is just one person out there, but that one person is a huge, she's in the public eye. She's part of the Kardashian family. Everything that she does is under a microscope. So anything positive that she could do out there for the trans community is going to be more press, more publicity. We're seeing her like on H&M ads, MAC ads. She's out there, and with that voice and that opinion and just the drive to change things, I feel like she could do so much more.
I agree. And then during the season premiere, around like that week, she came out in the news saying that she wants to be the trans advisor for Ted Cruz. She got a lot of flack for that. A lot from me too. And it was just like baffling to me that we had the conversation about Ted Cruz today on the episode. And yet now, how many ever months later, she came out and said that. Now, thinking back on it, what she actually said was, I want to be a trans advisor to him. Maybe she's just saying like, I want to help like him to realize that trans people are normal people and like advise him in that way, as opposed to like standing next to him at a rally and saying vote for this man.
I completely agree.
Maybe it's more honorable than that.
Yeah, I think that what that means is, she's learned all this education and she wants to give it off to somebody else who possibly doesn't see it, clearly doesn't see it.
And someone who she supports politically.
Exactly.
She is a conservative Republican, and I think that she would want to advise this conservative Republican candidate who at that time was doing really well in the polls. We just came off of New York, and he didn't do too well. But he was matching New York the whole time, and that's a different show, I guess.
Yeah.
But
but with Caitlyn though, do you feel? Ted Cruz has to know that Caitlyn has come out with these statements. You know what I mean? Or do you think that he would be open for discussion?
I think that if he was smart, he would fly her out in a heartbeat. I think that he would not be open, and I think that he wouldn't want to be face to face and have a conversation with Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah.
I think that it would actually like fundamentally change how he views trans people
and how people view him and what he's standing for. His whole party and
I think though like that is intimidating, and that's really uncomfortable to change just like a core belief. He was one of the senators who supported the HERO Act. The HERO Act, is that what it's called?
Yes.
Yeah, the HERO Act in Houston that took away so many safety concerns for LGBTQ people, which there are 1,000 other issues they could have focused on. And I think that he wouldn't do anything to jeopardize how he views trans people, because it's so core to him, and to question that, he would have to question a lot more about himself.
Yeah, and time-wise, we don't have that much time to get through the books.
I know. And, with Caitlyn coming out and saying she wants to be the trans advisor around the premiere of the show, it created so much spectacle in the news. This is a person who's been in the news a while. She's been Kardashian adjacent. It's the publicity tea from E! That sounds like a really, easy way to get some publicity for the season premiere.
I know. And hopefully with all the press that's out there, all the issues and all the things that have been said, I just feel like, again, there's more that she can do.
Yeah.
There's more that she can do, and I feel like she is a motivational speaker, so she knows how to get people to listen to what she's saying, and I feel like she's slightly getting into that role.
I agree. And like Kate Bornstein said, we've come such a long way from the God bless America, this is awkward.
Yeah, those were tense days.
Yeah.
I'm glad they're behind us.
Yeah. And we have to give Caitlyn credit for realizing that she is imperfect, and to build this team of trans people, from the Kate Bornsteins and the Jennifer Finley Boylans to the Zacharys and the Ellas.
Yeah.
To have the humility to be able to do that than to say, I'll just do it on my own. That's pretty huge.
You know, when I was seeing all of them together and I was just looking and thinking back to Kardashian episodes, it also makes me happy that not only is Cait really educated now and has all the knowledge thanks to these women, but he also has his group of friends. You know, having all these women as your friends and just being happy and being in your own skin, being your own truth, it's great.
It's amazing. And I mean, obviously we're only able to like judge their friendships based on what we see on TV in the show, but I feel like it's is like a lasting thing.
Yeah, it's organic. All the girls seem really real. Nobody is trying to...
Yeah, they get along. They're able to have hard conversations. But more than that, I think that the supporting cast of girls feel accountability in shaping and creating the Caitlyn Jenner who the world sees. And I think that that is going to last for far longer than the show.
Definitely.
Yeah, and we saw them, you know, in Houston. The road trip continued, going to the churches and the services. We didn't actually see the church, but we saw that it happened. And, you know, when people see, a lot of people, I don't want to like bash middle America and as like the stereotypical, we live in LA and we're perfect and we're liberal, because not everyone in middle America is conservative, but you know, the stereotype of middle America, a lot of them don't know trans people, or they don't know openly trans people. And I think to be able to have a conversation, to see how lovely some of these girls are, and to see how non-threatening they are, I think that's going to change their lives.
It is. And I feel like, you know, now with it in your face on TV, on E, one of the biggest networks, this is only going to, you know, give more exposure to other people out there that, you know, I feel like with gay rights too, we kind of were in that, you know, those years where it was a lot tougher, and nowadays we're just in a whole new place.
But I think that happened though because America has had so long to come to terms with it, with like that people are gay and they exist, whereas transgender is a fairly new concept for a lot of people. A lot of people don't know a trans person, and so while I make no excuses whatsoever for the state of North Carolina or, you know, the HERO Act, a part of me understands that this is coming on very fast for them. That being said, catch up.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like why are you like treating these people like they're threatening? Because they're not.
Yeah, I think with time, I think with time, everything is gonna work itself. I know that there's a lot of work, and I know, you know, transgender
I agree
people,
with you, but it can happen faster.
It can happen faster. I feel like, you know, with Caitlyn as being now kind of the face, like what you said, of the transgender community. I mean, doing other things other than, you know, like her ad campaigns and things like that. I mean, that's great, but I actually think it's really great.
I think it's huge, the representation.
I think it's so great because, you know, signing a deal with H&M. I mean, who doesn't know what an H&M is? Who doesn't go to H&M? And when you go in there and you see her, you're seeing a trans person. I agree. It's kind of becoming part of culture.
I agree with you, but going back to what you said about change will happen, I agree. It will. And, you know, Cait Bornstein had that amazing line at the end of the episode saying that these are 13-year-olds coming up to Caitlyn Jenner wanting their picture, and the 13-year-olds don't care. Exactly. They don't know that they haven't been like trained yet to know that this is a horrible quote-unquote thing. And, you know, those people will grow up and then they're going to become politicians and then issues will go away. But why should we wait for like this current generation to die off?
I know.
I don't know. I'm not sounding like high and mighty, but I remember 4 years ago reading Cait Bornstein's books, Gender Outlaws and A Queer and Pleasant Danger. And it was the first time that I had heard of like the gender spectrum. And, you know, Cait transitioned from male to female. And then she was like, I'm not all the way female. I am neither, and I am both. And I had to like, you know, shut the book at times and just like think about what she was writing, and I got it. So, you know, like just educate yourselves and just know that it's okay. And if it makes you uncomfortable, that's okay too, but it doesn't mean you gotta like take away their rights. Yeah,
exactly. And I totally agree with you on that. And I think that with Caitlyn being part of the Kardashian family, Kardashians are not going anywhere anytime soon. So,
Yeah.
you know, we're gonna, although it is the season finale of I Am Cait, we're gonna see her in little pieces of the new season of Keeping Up on May 1. So, you
I'm
know.
so sorry. My mind just went to a horrible place. We're gonna see her in little pieces. I thought you meant like a serial killer, like killing her.
No. We're definitely gonna see.
I'm sorry.
They do pieces and they do segments of her.
Oh,
on
they
it.
do? Okay.
Yeah. So they still the family does go out to Malibu and
Did the new season start yet?
no May
Okay.
1st. Yeah. So.
Oh my god, so soon.
Yeah, I was following Rob Kardashian's story on Snap, and they were at Caitlyn. So it's nice too that it is the season finale, and the family, you know, they went through a lot last year, and it just
Yeah.
seems like everybody's in a good place.
Good. Yeah, I mean, it's like sisters by blood, best friends by choice. Is that choice?
Yes.
I got it.
Yes, you got
We've
it.
seen that ad every pre-roll. Yeah, while we're like wrapping up too, I was really surprised at how affected I was by the ending dinner with the girls.
Me too.
All saying nice things. And it started with Kate Bornstein and then with Shandy just saying like, we have to, and we're incredibly critical of you, but we have to tell you that you are doing a great job.
We needed that, and I'm glad that we ended on that note because, you know, I was telling you the first part of the season, I mean, they were really going in on Caitlyn, and I think Jennifer Boylan even said that, you know, there's no more passes. Remember that? So I feel like they really stayed true to exactly what they were trying to accomplish with Cait, and I feel like they did an excellent job because the last episode, we're seeing everybody is all coming into agreement.
Yeah, and it's amazing and necessary to end on that note because if we went off in the world being like, okay, you know, you've done an okay job, but there's a lot of room for growth. Good night and good luck. It's just, it gives people allowance to be critical of Cait.
Yes.
And so this is a good reminder that yes, there are issues, but on the whole, wow, she's changing lives, excuse me. And then the last thing that affected me is just thinking about Ella. This is an 18 or 19-year-old girl, and she is so poised.
Great addition for this season.
Fantastic addition. And just to be around this group of women at that age and to see the potential for what you can grow up to be. You know, when Caitlyn Bornstein was growing up, there wasn't, like, I don't think the word transgender was even like in the public lexicon yet. You know, it was invented in like the 60s-ish, so like it existed, but it was very much like transsexual only, and it was a negative thing, and there wasn't better like PC ways of talking about it. And so she didn't have a single role model. And so for Ella to have these role models and then to have them in her life face to face,
Pretty much forever.
yeah, I would gander to say that she can call any of these women whenever she wants with an issue. And while I said like earlier, like maybe Jennifer Finley Boylan was like pushing her a bit, maybe she was, maybe she wasn't. That's an amazing mentor, and she's at 6 of them.
I know, and she honestly, like what we were saying, she is a great addition to the show, and she has a great story. I mean, it's one thing if all the family was so supportive from the very beginning, but she's saying that it took her father some time to get a hold of everything that was going on.
And they're still in the process. These things take time.
Yeah, it made me really happy. And I love that Shandy also said, you know, we're not perfect. And, you know, it just kind of was a good way to end the show.
Yeah, I'm so excited to see what Ella does with her life. Go to college, girl. I'm kidding. I think that she's going to do huge things. And I'm so excited to see that. You know, we've come to the end of the episode.
I know.
Do you have
The end of the season.
Oh my God. Season, potentially end of series. They haven't announced anything yet. Is there anything else you want to add before we wrap up?
I definitely appreciate all the women that, you know, were on the show again for season 2 and just really educated myself like to all these things. I feel like there's more to learn and there's more things to do, and I was really appreciative of like the show in itself.
Yeah, I agree.
So seeing it go, you know, hopefully, I mean, we don't know yet, but even if it doesn't go to season 3, at least we have all of this information out there.
We have this, you know, we have I Am Jazz, the other TV show, but for this one in particular, just seeing 6 trans women on screen at the same time, sometimes 7 and 8, it's radical and revolutionary. And I think that's going to leave a lasting impact.
Yeah, and maybe they can add more people. Maybe they could feature more people. I mean, whatever it is to change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
It could, I mean, there's a lot of potential still. I feel like.
I agree. It's so exciting. Where can the good people find you online until next time?
You guys can find me at Thomas Orlina on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook.
Cool. I tweet from Jeff Masters 1. Shar, who is here but couldn't be here tonight, she tweets from at Shar Says So. Guys, we're not going to see you next time, but hopefully we'll see you soon.
Yes.
Bye. Good night.
We'll see you online.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
I'll see you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.